Okay. Okay.
Okay, Chairwoman, take it away.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Pera Board. Thank you very much for coming out. We're going to start the meeting started today. Thank you for your patience and your time. Miss Jacinia, if I said her name correctly, would you please do the roll call? Did I miss anything?
Chairwoman Ray,
Yes.
Vice Chairwoman Dorita,
Present.
Mr. Cohen, absent. Miss D, absent. Mr. Fontaine, present. Mr. Rankin,
Here.
Miss Swearingen.
Here.
There are 5 present and 2 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. May I have the agenda brought up? Does everybody receive the agenda in the mail? Is that possible, Mr. Sean?
1 minute, hold on. I'm just behind the 8 ball, so let me bring that up. I wasn't, didn't have that up yet. 1 moment.
Okay, thank you.
Again, sorry, I apologize to everyone. We had a clerk get sick that was at the last minute, and so I'm pinch hitting here.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Unless Jacinia, you don't have that open on your computer right now, do you? Would you want to share that real quick? I mean, unless that's where you're taking notes, but I'm gonna make you a co-host so you could share that. But I'm gonna also bring that up so I can share it later.
Okay.
But if you're able to share your screen to share that agenda, you could do that real quick.
Okay, so the agenda should appear now.
Okay.
Yeah, would you like the assistant clerk to read the first item, Ms. Chairwoman?
Not a problem. Madam Assistant Clerk, could you read the first item so we can discuss it?
Yes, update regarding the status of hiring the Pera Executive Director.
Okay. At this time, I would like to turn that over, and I might be hitting a blind side, to Mr. Mike Fontaine, so he can inform the board exactly what he does know. Anything he don't know, I can fill in, or Mr. Rankin. Mr. Mike?
And Jacinia, you can pull down that agenda.
Well, we have actually, we just got a couple of, which I haven't reviewed yet, some additional resumes in today. I believe Mr. Rita sent us, I think, 3 additional that have not opened yet. We are actually, I was going to reach out, and I believe it's Miss D, myself, Mr. Rankin. We're going to try to get together. I know Mr. Rankin and I have touched base. I don't know if he has been in touch with Miss D, but we're going to try to set up a date when we can actually kind of just talk about these in short order, because we need to get this done and then set up some Zoom interviews. So I don't know if Mr. Rankin has anything else he'd like to add, if he's been in touch with Ms. D about this or not.
I have not been in touch with Miss D. That's about it.
Okay, can I update the board as far as I know? I did put in a phone call to Miss D about being the third person on this hiring committee. She informed me that she would get back to me because she had just got hired for a new job. So I didn't hear anything from her. Mr. Fontaine, I tried to call you and email you. I guess it didn't go through. That's what I was waiting on. But you know what? We have to move forward. As of March 5th, the closing of the hiring committee for the executive director position was closed on March the 5th. You are correct, and Ms. DeRita did tell me that we have two more applications that was received on March 5th, which she let me know the total was 16 total. Okay, all right. So in speaking on that, sir, that means that it will go back to me, Mr. Rankin, and Mr. Fontaine, because I could not change what we had voted on that night. So that's why it's sticking with me. I couldn't, take me off and sign somebody else. So
Okay.
That's where we lie at this time. So that's why I was trying to call you to let you know. I think I let you know, Matisse, but if I didn't, I apologize because there's been a lot going on. So again, us three will have to get together, figure it out, give us a date, a time, and we can meet and start doing this process so we can hire this executive director. Does that sound logical?
Yes, it sounds good. What I would suggest, tomorrow is actually not a good day for me, scheduling wise, but maybe Friday afternoon, we could at least have a quick conference call and kind of get the process going. We could even speak this weekend, but at least the three of us should then now, since now it's just us three, set something up for Friday for a conversation so we can coordinate and get this. We need to get it done clearly in short order. So does that work for everyone? Is making a call, setting something up this Friday afternoon work?
I can be available for that.
Miss,
as well as I. So the
okay.
answer is yes. So we will make that call or whatever, and we'll be hooked up on Friday. Has any other board members got any question on that? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mike Fontaine. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I see Ms. Jillian's hand is raised. Am I not seeing that correctly? Jillian?
It is, but I didn't mean to do that, so I apologize.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. No, I thought you had a question. All right, since we don't have any other questions, any other comments or statements? Okay, so that will be moving forward as on item number 1 on the agenda. Madam Clerk, Assistant Clerk, would you read the second item? Okay, where we go? Here we go. Could you read the second item on the agenda, please?
Discussion regarding the quarterly report from Providence Police Department.
Okay. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Susan DeRita. Ms. Susan DeRita, the floor, Vice Chair, that is your floor. Please speak on it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're
So
welcome.
as you are probably aware, we are the recipients of quarterly reports from the Providence Police Department. And I did email you the recent reports to the board that were recently received. So the first quarter of 2020, and they're going by the city fiscal calendar. So the first quarter 2020 report covers July, August, and September of 2020. And the second quarter report covers October, November, and December of 2020. In reviewing these reports, I noticed that there was some information that was missing in respect to some of the attachments. that were supposed to be included with these reports. And I just want to thank Captain Remolina because he has been the person that I've been working with to get some of this information. A lot of it is data driven, and there is only one person currently at the police department that is working in the data collection department. And so we were able to get one piece of information which was sent to you, and it's a pretty color map, and as required by the report, is supposed to be a map that gives the geographic locations, and I can show it to people. Geographic locations to where all of the stops took place. So what they were able to do was to develop this map based upon the stops for 2020. And this is just basic information that we're getting so far. We want to drill it down further. That's a request that we can put in that can be generated by that department. The second thing is that each of these reports include a lot of different policy changes. They either might be just that they reviewed the policy, or that there's a change to the policy, or that it's a new policy. And rather than sitting there and comparing the old version to the new version word by word, we're trying to find some way where they can submit to us what those changes were. So they don't just use a word system where they track changes. So what's going to happen is with these reports, and if for any of the policies, they will kind of give a little synopsis as to whether it was just a review. Nothing was changed, whether something was changed and what that was. So that way it will make it easier for everybody to go back. These reports will be published, as have previous ones, on the police department's website for the public to look at. But just to kind of, bear with us as we try to, perfect the information that's contained in the reports. If anybody has any questions.
Well, I have one.
Yes, ma'am.
You briefly showed a map
Mhm.
and what you received. Will we all be able to have a copy of what you got?
It was emailed to everybody last night.
Okay. All right. Did everybody receive that
So I
copy?
sent
You asked that question.
Yep, I sent a scanned version to everybody, and I also attached it because you're going to really have to zoom in to see, some of the information, because it is all really a lot of information just on one sheet.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Any comments? Thank you very much for item number 2, Ms. Suzarita.
You're welcome.
Assistant Clerk, Ms. Okay, I'm gonna say your name wrong. Assistant Clerk. Next thing on the agenda.
Discussion regarding the gang list report.
Well, here we go. Discussion on the game data report. Did any, I'm going to turn it back over to Susan, Vice Chair, because she has been following this through. But if anybody have any questions or comment, please ask. So Sue, the
Thank
floor
you.
is yours. Please report.
Thank you. Along these same lines, a request was sent to the police department because in the ordinance, it does specify that the police department shall produce an annual report that is subject to audit of the gang list. And my discussion with Colonel Clements is that this gang list no longer exists. The major reason is that their current database was unable to produce a list based upon what the revised qualifications to get on or off the list were when the current policy was changed. I believe it was back in the spring sometime. So he will be sending us a letter just verifying that information. And that's where it is right now. But we did request it and we'll be getting verification.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comment on that? Mr. Rankin.
what gets done with the names that were on the list? Because I imagine they don't just evaporate or disappear into thin air. So what little file do they get put into?
That is a follow-up question I can ask. I don't know if I know Captain Remolina is an attendee. I don't know if that's something that he can answer. I don't know, Sean, if you can allow him to join the conversation.
Sorry, who would you like to join?
Henry Remolina.
Absolutely.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry about my lighting here. I will, the database is, and I'll definitely get that to you as to what happens with the gang database, the names and what other information was collected.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other questions? Miss Elise?
I'm sure the follow-up information that we receive will answer my question, so I'm good. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fontaine.
No, about the same. I was thinking when Mr. Machiste asked that same question. I mean, yeah, the names, it's not like the people evaporate or the names. So I just didn't I'm sure once we get the information, we'll get the answer. So that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rankin, for your question. If it ain't no other questions or comments, I will now say thank you, Susan, and turn it back over to the Assistant Clerk.
Okay, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Question regarding assistance from the City Council office.
Okay, that would be me, ladies and gentlemen. I have a meeting with the City Council President, Ms. Sabina, and Councilwoman Mary Kay Harris in getting some assistance in finding or getting our information that we seek. What I am referring to is Mr. Jose Baptista was supposed to turn in property or evidence or things that he had to the former chair, which would have been Mr. Nick. And then Mr. Nick was supposed to turn it over to Mr. Rank. I continue to ask and send out letters. Your internet connection is something. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, there's a problem. I'm breaking up and I don't know why. Hello.
Sometimes it helps your connection if you turn off your video.
Turn off my video.
Yeah,
Hold
it
on, and I'm going to turn it
helps.
off. There you go. Hi, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do a short version. We sent out a letter to the City Council President, and she responded back and offered us help from somebody from the City Council to try to retrieve the information that we was requesting. If I'm wrong, I apologize. That was my understanding. We did receive some help. I want to get they were told that it was only could be given to city employees. I am not a city employee. According to the audience, I was supposed to receive it, but again, they was having issues and problems with that factor. So since we have had the help of the person who was selected to help us with making sure we have access to city information, access to city properties or whatever else we need, that has happened. Me and Ms. Susan, the vice chair, has been meeting with someone and they have been helping us. In reference to helping us, because I don't want to jump too far, but I will say this here. We do have a budget that is currently running for 2020. That we do have and still do, and we're able to pay some of our bills out of that budget. So we're not out of compliance. And we will be in the future going down and putting in for our 2021 budget with the help. Also, that's what made us also capable and able to put out and pay for the postage and the posting of looking for the executive director. I'll say that. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, and if I'm not clear enough, please ask me, and then I will try to tell you. Just to let you know, we are getting help from the city council person. So I want to thank the city council. I want to thank the chairperson, Ms. Sabina, and I want to thank Ms. Mary Kay Harris. Any questions, anybody? Any comments? Captain, okay. Captain Henry,
Yes, ma'am.
you have a question?
No, I did not raise my hand.
Oh, I see your little hand. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I apologize.
No problem.
That might have been from earlier.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Fontaine, you have any questions on that?
I don't, Madam Chair.
Okay. Miss Elise, do you have any questions or comment?
I do not. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Mr. Rankin, did I lose him?
No, you did not. I have
Okay.
no questions.
Go ahead. He has no
I
questions?
said I have no questions.
Okay, thank you so very much. So thank you. Next thing on the agenda. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mr. Reed, you got any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. All right. Madam Assistant Clerk.
Okay, so number 5 is discussion regarding liaison between Pera and the Providence Police Department.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, we are now going back to Sue DeRita. Miss Susan.
Thank you. So Ms. Ray assigned me as the liaison between Pera and the Providence Police Department so that we could initially participate in the Tuesday morning meetings that were being held prior to COVID. But since they're not being held, I have conversations directly with Colonel Clements, and we're using this opportunity for him to relay information that he thinks that Pera should know, and for us to be able to follow up on any questions that we have. So one of the things that I did bring to his attention is that we never received a response to the recommendations that were sent to the department last spring, as it's been known to be called as the Hanley Report. So there was about 1.5 pages of recommendations that he will now send us a response to, as to whether, what actions have been taken, if there's any policy changes that were made that were addressed in that report. So that's something that will be forthcoming. Also, he did indicate that the Office of Professional Responsibility has received 13 complaints this calendar year so far, and he will be instructing his department to send over a synopsis of each of those complaints. Right now, we don't have access to any of the complaints that may have been filed to Pera for 2021. So we can't cross-reference right now to see if both they and us have received the same complaint because we don't eventually want to be working on the same complaint. So that's something that will be coming from him. And he has assigned Captain Remolina to be the liaison, basically from the police department to Pera for any information that we need, whether it's, reports or information that we may need in response to any requests from the public or whatever. So that's it. And we, until the COVID ends and we have an executive director, then there will be no Tuesday morning meetings to attend to. If anybody has any questions.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. One of my questions to you is, I understand y'all going to be meeting every Tuesday, correct?
We don't have a specific day of the week. It's just based.
So that may change.
Right. So once they start meeting regularly, then it will be the usual Tuesday morning meeting. But until that happens, then it will just be based upon our mutual schedules.
Okay. Mutual schedules. Okay. All right. So whenever you receive, will be receiving or listening to or participating in, that means that we're going to learn all about it at our next monthly meeting on the third Wednesday of every month, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for answering that little question of mine. Miss Elise, do you have any questions for her? Mr. Fontaine, do you have any questions or comment?
No, it doesn't sound like there's anything going on just yet. So by the time we have our ED and investigator, things probably be kicking up. So it doesn't sound like there's anything for us to really worry about at the moment.
Okay. Mr. Rankin, you have any questions or comments?
I echo Mr. Fontaine's comment.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Susan Dorita.
You're welcome.
Miss Assistant Clerk, may you please speak on the next agenda topic?
Yes. Number 6, discussion regarding the status of Pera's finances.
Okie dokie. That will be me again, and I'm going to just make it short but very brief. We are able at this time to continue to do whatever necessary to keep Pera running, as far as if and when or after we hire this executive director, helping that process along with an investigator and the necessary people that they may need or he may need going down the line. And right now, as of this budget right now, until they change the budget, we are in good standing. I do know that it was recommended, because we did pay NACO the back payment of $400, plus we paid NACO $300 for posting the ad on the executive director. I do believe and have the understanding that we are also going to be asking NACO, could they do a Zoom board training to all of us? And I do believe that's going to be looked into. I don't have a price set or a range saying page. Okay, your internet is unstable. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my internet. I've been on it since 8:30 this morning. I apologize. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, you're coming in pretty well, Chairwoman.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So that is what I'm going to say at this point. If anybody have any questions for me and I can answer that, please ask me. Feel free to ask me. My whole point to all of this is that we all be on the same page and we all know exactly what's going on. I do not wish that any board member do not know what's going on at all times. Thank you. Any questions, please?
No questions for me.
None for me.
Miss Elise? No. Miss Dorita?
All set.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Miss Assistant Clerk, please go to the next agenda.
Okay, number 7, discussion regarding the status of the Providence Police collective bargaining agreement.
Last but not least, I'll turn it back over to Miss Susan Dorita.
Okay, the Finance Committee sent it to the City Council, who will be meeting tomorrow. And it is on their agenda, and the way I understand it is that it needs 2 passes. I don't know if anybody attended the public hearing, but they would have seen that it was passed by Finance. I don't know if Ms. Bacher has any additional information that she wants to add.
I don't have any other information, no.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Well, I think this was a wonderful meeting. Okay, thank you very much for your participation, and I'm going to turn it back over. That was the end of our agenda, I do believe. Am I correct,
That
Assistant
is
Clerk?
correct, Chairwoman.
Oh, okay, Mrs. Okay, I see both of you. Thank you very much. So at this time, I want to ask, because it is at my discretion, to Mr. Selick, are there any people in the public that have any questions for us on your radar?
So, Ms. Chairwoman, if I understand you correctly, you're inviting the attendees to raise their hand if they would like to share any comment. Is that correct?
That is correct, if you see any.
You have, at your request now, one individual has raised their hand. Would you like me to promote them to panelist?
Yes, please.
I'm promoting Justice Gaines to panelist.
Good evening, Mr. Justice.
Hi, nice to see you all. Yeah, I think just on the collective bargaining agreement, I was wondering if you all sort of got like information about those negotiations, or like had a chance as a board to give input into that agreement or on that process.
I'm going to let Ms. Sue Dorita answer that question. Ms. Sue, please answer Mr. Justice's question.
Okay, Justice, we did as a authority did send a communication to Chairman Igliozzi, just citing the provision in the ordinance that we do have some participation in that, and we did not receive a response.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to check to see if y'all are being included yet, frankly. And also, yeah, and I appreciate the follow-up on the quarterly report and the gang list, and if Pera can make or like let folks know when that information is public, and the sort of response to the previous gang list names questions, that would be awesome. Thank you all.
Ms. Chairwoman, the solicitor has her hand raised. Would you like to say something, Ms. Barker?
I do, yeah. I just want to also respond to Justice's question. So the meetings for the Finance Committee regarding this topic are open to the public. Any member of the board as a whole, any member of the public can go to those meetings and express their thoughts. So not receiving a direct response back from the Finance Committee didn't preclude the board from letting the Finance Committee or the City Council as a whole know any comments or concerns that they have about the CBA before it's passed. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear.
Yes, and I can also share that the city clerk would also share any written testimony that we receive on any topic with the city council. And so written testimony via email is also an option. And just for the board's information, that item was passed out of the Finance Committee with a recommendation for approval, and it will be heard for the first time in the regular city council meeting tomorrow evening. It does need to pass twice, so tomorrow would be the first opportunity for the first passage. Chairwoman, I do not see anyone else from the public who has their hand raised at this time, just to let you know.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. Thank you very much, Justice, for your questions, and thank you, Susan and Sean and Jillian for answering it. So at this time, if there's no further business, motion to close this Pera meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hi, can you hear me now? Oh,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I would like to close the Pera meeting at this time. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're so close. Thank you, Assistant Clerk. Thank you, Sean. Thank you,